blade to do the damage that the end of my knife can do. All right? I can use the end of that, and you won't get in trouble for that. You will for stabbing something, obviously.
I don't think you used your fist. Make it look like you used your fist on it.
It will.
Yeah.
Well, hitting this on the back of someone's hand,
Oh yeah.
or root break stuff.
What are those little stupid things called?
Hair.
It's like yeah, there you go. Coubatons.
You like how I knew exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Stupid little things.
Perfect weapon to have. It's a perfect weapon. Something metal, something blunted, something semi-pointed. Dude, you're going to do a lot of damage, even if it's blunted. Right? And that's what these things are meant for. Your hammer fist is the same thing. Boom, wham, boom, wham.
Can you make the point about like if they run into you or you run into them again?
Yeah. So I'm pulling back from number one here. I'm going to pull back. Obviously, I turn it over for the slice, and I bring it and I back it against my body. So if he decides to rush, he did himself in, right? Most people end up doing this, and they cut their fingers off all the time, right? They call it bone tingling or bone tapping. Mm-hmm. It's a form of torture where they'll use something to touch your bones, right? If you hit any kind of bone, more often than not, it's going to immediately stop your weapon. He's going to be in a shitload of pain, yeah. But most people, they're not thinking when the adrenaline's there, so they stab and boom, it goes right through their fingers because they don't have the grip strength nor the wherewithal.
That the bone's gonna stop the knife?
That it'll get caught, right? And even when you pull a weapon out, a flat blade, when you stick it in and pull it out, the muscles actually close around that blade, right? So it's gonna have like that suction, like, as it comes back, right? So you need to have full control of your knife. Really good ones are the ones that have like little finger spot. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
on the
almost
handle.
like brass knuckles?
Kind of, right? It doesn't have to go around the knuckle, but it actually it's shaped.
On it.
Yeah, it's shaped like this.
Like a saber?
The handle goes down because your finger can hold those areas, right? And there's some have like a thumb area as well. Learn what works for you. Right? If you're going to have a weapon, be willing to spend money on that weapon, learn that weapon, buy a bunch of that weapon, buy cheap as shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be expensive to do damage. But learn what works best for you. And don't be fancy and doing all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to work, man. The movies are the movies, right? Simply put, this is always the best way to hold a knife, right? And you'll notice I hold my knife this way. The average person who knows anything about a knife will be like, you queer. What's wrong with you, right? Sorry, I don't have PC, okay? But I hold it that way for a reason. Why? Because same as I told you here. Yep, the bong sow. There you go. Just put it in there, right? And if he wants to reach for me at any point, it's all good. It doesn't matter. Right? It's easy. The knife will do the work for you, trust me.
So that's your style, right? That's
me.
like what you've been doing, what
That's
you
me.
practice,
This kind of
that's your
stuff-
weapon.
This kind of stuff is if you're inside with somebody and you want to catch them.
But it kind of like what you were saying is like learn your weapon. I'm sure you have some knife that you like a lot, that style that you were doing probably.
I do. I personally have my going out with my wife knife.
Yeah.
It's actually a Microtech. It's called a bayonet. Fully automatic out the front, double-edged, serrated. And it's called a bayonet. It is sharp as shit. I wasn't paying attention. I went to close it one time and missed the button. Sliced me so bad. It was ridiculous. But the Skull Crusher, I could easily rip his shirt in his skin with the Skull Crusher alone. It comes with two different types. One's pointed, one's blunted. The pointed one, I've actually scratched my hand and cut it, putting my hand into my pocket. Right? So that is what I use as my first go-to. I'm going to rip you open and jack you up before I'm going to start trying to stab you. Right? Because I want it to be, like he said, it looks like you punched him. Yeah. Use the level of force that is something you can fix. If you don't know first aid, if you've never taken CPR, you are seriously fooling yourself. You will probably break a hand in a fight. I have. First thing I did was boom, busted my knuckle on somebody's head. After that, my hand was burning. So I switched to my elbows and did what I could, right? But you're fooling yourself. If you cannot fix what you've done, you are not a martial artist at all. You're just a brawler. And beer is a brawler, right? All that dude has to do is be drunk, and bro, he will probably outlast your ass because he's not going to feel the level of pain that he should. So be understanding that even in your weapons, there should be a low level use of the weapon and a high level use of the weapon. That is appropriate use of a weapon, right? Because you don't want to go out killing everybody. You want to be men of violence who are controlled in your violence, right? Any of you don't know Jordan Peterson, go look his ass up. He talks about it in the most exquisite, poetic way I've ever heard it put, right? So,
Same goes with just your hands too, right? You don't want to go out there just ready to take everybody's head off. Like sometimes people have a bad day and you don't want to make it worse, right? And so
you may be surprised what people can
they have
do.
a bad day. And also, like as we train as martial artists, we were actually just talking about this yesterday. As we train as martial artists and we hit each other and train with each other, like we're not realizing that the common person can't take the same amount of damage we can take. Our bodies engage differently. Our nervous systems engage different. Our muscle system engages different. It just knows, okay, I got hit. As long as I can see it coming and I know it's coming, my body's going to naturally do stuff. So even if I don't have my hands up and he lands a shot, my body's naturally going to do something when I get hit. And I'm going to be hitting them back, right? That's not normal what normal people do. Normal people get hit and they get hit hard. Their nervous system's like, oh, I'm hurt, and everything like goes limp noodle and they get knocked out. So it's different, right? The type of damage you're going to receive. So yeah, you don't have to go to if you've been training, even if you've only been training for a short amount of time. Hitting someone really hard who's not ready for it or who doesn't know how to deal with it is you know, definitely something. You know, you're going to hit people a lot harder than you think you are. You know, they're
Be
not
body
trained.
shot. Be body shooters, man.
Yeah.
Everybody
people
shoots for the head. You aim small, you miss small, dude.
People don't
Aim
walk
big,
around
you
with
hit big.
mouthpieces in either, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, busting teeth is going to make somebody quit a fight before knocking them out. So, you know, a lot of that, breaking bones, stuff like that is part of the reason why we train our hands as well. If we have to come across somebody with a knife, I'm not going to fight him, like, in that way. I'm going to defend myself as best as possible, and if I get a shot, I want that shot to break something. And that's a bone in his face, perfect, because that's going to give me the stun that I need to escape or to take control of the situation, right? But again, I can't just have these light punches. So it kind of comes back to what he was talking about, his knife that he has, right? Don't underestimate the backhand, right? You see that a lot in karate and different types of martial arts, kung fu and stuff like that. And the back fist and the backhand, right? Two different weapons, the hammer fist here. And then also the chicken strike. The chicken strike is when you're up super close right here, even this, right? This is maybe too close for an elbow or anything else. Come up this way, headbutt, boom, right?
Yeah, headbutts end a lot of fights, I promise you. I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it
They
as well.
end fights quick.
Big dudes drop just the same as little dudes, and you headbutt them.
You want to land with your forehead, right?
Yep. You want to land in your forehead.
Find the plate right here.
You want to land in the forehead and their bottom drop.
Right where it starts to round, the plate right there. Yep.
Yeah. So when I hit them here, if I get it, I'm gonna, I don't want to do this and cock my head back. I'm gonna hyperextend all my neck muscles. Right. I don't want to do that, and then I'm gonna slam my head forward. Boom. That's not a good idea. What I want to do is I'm gonna step in good with my stances. If I catch his hands or whatever, boom, and just kind of.
So it's with the legs, really?
Yeah, and if I have to, yeah, with your legs really. I mean, you know,
These zygomatic bones right here are really easy to break. Really easy.
yeah, first time I headbutt somebody.
10 pounds of pressure, so will break the average collarbone. 3 to 5 pounds of pressure will pull the ear off the body. Right? It only takes about 15 pounds to 20 pounds of pressure for someone who's not trained to bust the zygomatic bone right here, and the eyeball will sink into the face. Right? It's not hard to break bones in the face. This right here will crush every bone in a human face. Right? It has to be minimally trained, and it will do it. So, you know, I mean, using your forehead, never hit straight here because their teeth can actually come out and implant in your forehead. Right? You hit straight onto the nose, you're going to shatter their nose. You did it. Right? You hit him right here in the face and it breaks. The dude's face was in my face, man. I wasn't trying to break a bone. Right? So on anybody who hasn't, get yourself a human anatomy coloring book and start learning the bones of the body. Wherever there's an epicondyle, where a bone sticks out, high levels of pain. Anybody who's been tattooed over bone, you know, it hurts a little bit more than in deep muscles and stuff like that. Right? So learn your human anatomy. That's the best way to start understanding how to actually cause pain. And if it heals and feels good, if this feels good on somebody's rubbing, well, I'm telling you right now, if I grab and I dig into that, he's gonna start to feel the pain too. If it heals, it hurts. If it hurts, it probably heals. Masters were healers and healers were masters. Don't be a sack of shit martial artist. Right? Be a real martial artist. So learn what this guy knows. Your jows, your balms, and that balm is no shit, dude. I tried it on my elbow. Before I got done rubbing, I was like, dude, there's no pain.
I like it. It works good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Like what I was saying for your shoulder too, like the spot that I found,
Mhm.
find the spot that you don't want to touch. That's the spot that will heal you. If something's messed up and you're rubbing everywhere and it's sore and you're rubbing everywhere and then finally you find that one spot where you're like, oh my gosh, you go right back in. And then just breathe and focus, because that's the spot that needs to be released. So yeah, if it heals, it hurts. If it hurts, it probably is gonna heal you. Right? Not always, injuries are different, but you know, when it comes to a lot of different muscle things and stuff like that, and training injuries, you know, be curious about that, where it's at. It always doesn't hurt in the site location either. Sometimes it's somewhere else. So keep that in mind. All right, what else you guys want to work in? What do you guys want to get into?
Back to some electric knife sparring.
All
Now that we
right.
know a little bit.
All right, electric knife sparring. You guys want to put the helmets on, get a little bit more contact?